You ready to do this thing?
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gym T, episode 11 or 12, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to Alexander Toplyn. He was a rookie last year, and although you may have not placed where you really wanted to, what I saw up there was an insane shape and so much potential, it blew my mind. Alexander Toplyn, how are you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed. Things have definitely been crazy this past year, man. With the sole focus going into it of just wanting to dominate the stage. And, unfortunately that wasn't necessarily the case. But like you mentioned, man, we've gotten a lot of good feedback from that appearance. And I think 2022 is going to be something special, man. Yeah,
bro. Hey, I dig that earring too, bro.
Appreciate you, man. We diversifying up the portfolio.
How was the holidays, bro? Did you eat some bomb food?
Yeah, man, it was good. I was blessed, man. First holiday in my new home here in Florida. So it was a little weird not having the family, when you wake up at Christmas. But, we're starting our own tradition here. Me and my girlfriend, we got our 2 dogs going. And we brought in the new year with COVID. But all in all, I can't complain, man. It was rough, but I feel good now. Feel good.
Good. I can't believe I caught COVID as well, bro, but I got over it in about a week or so. How were you feeling? Did you get really sick or you were fine?
Yeah, no, man, it actually hit me pretty rough. Back pains. I had lack of appetite, nausea. I mean, I was, cold sweats. I was down and out for about 4 straight days. I have a home gym here, so I tried to get in a lift on the 5th day, and it was hard to catch my breath. I mean, we got a decent one in, but it was not easy. Me, my training partner, my assistant, tons of other people got, came down with it at the same time, my girlfriend. So, we had a little bit of a COVID party.
Well, it's good to have you here and good to have you healthy, bro. And by the way, thank you for taking the time to be on here, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. A lot of people wanted you on here. A lot of people.
It's cool, man. I love seeing what you're doing for the sport. I remember talking to you a little bit more about how you should start a podcast, and I think it's going to be something special, getting people on, kind of sharing their experiences and kind of broadcasting a little bit more about the men's physique division, because, we get a lot of, slack and flack in this division. But, having people who really highlight some of the people who are setting the standard, it's important. And you're doing a damn good job at it, man.
Dude, I forgot about that. You did plant that seed like a year ago, and I just think I wasn't ready, but now we're doing it, bro. I think cool. I first found out about who you were. It was 2020. It was the North Americans. You took the overall. I covered that. And I remember right after that show, I DM'd you to congratulate you, and you hit me back right away, and our relationship kind of started from there. How did it feel coming into the North Americans? You've never lost a show, and then you get the overalls at one of the biggest national shows in the world. How'd that feel, bro?
Oh, man, it was amazing. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, man, that prep was rough. I lost my job. I lost my grandparents. I feel like that year I was for sure of the vid taking over. I didn't have a consistent gym to train at. It was rough on me mentally. And then to wrap it up, with, that win, it was something special, man. I put a lot of pressure on myself that go around. I was still new somewhat into this sport. It was my 2nd year of competing, and I really didn't know where I could place. Like, I didn't know what the standard was at that time. I just was trying to bring the best version of myself to that stage. And, again, in a year of loss, it was nice to take home that win.
Yeah, that was beautiful, bro. How long have you been lifting, Alex? Seriously lifting. I'm talking about meals, 4 or 5 days a week. You know what I mean?
Okay. Honestly, so let's put it this way. My lifting consistency came before my meal consistency. So my lifting consistency came a little bit more from the athlete side of things of football.
Yes.
But football style training is very different than bodybuilding, man. So I remember there was a few years where I tried to bridge the two, and that's when I was getting injured the most. So I remember Yeah, so more when I really started focusing on bodybuilding, man, believe it or not, it was about my sophomore year of college. And,
Wow.
we started getting into, and again, this was when I started like bridging that gap a little bit too much, and my body started feeling the brunt of it.
Right.
But during that time, man, I learned a lot. The foundation was set. I was learning what to do, what not to do. I was teaching myself little things. I knew I wanted to compete one day, but I feel like everyone says that. I didn't really know how it was going to come to fruition, especially because I was an athlete. So those two didn't mix in terms of the dedication needed for one. Yeah, man, I would probably say started lifting seriously kind of late compared to most people. I guess my sophomore year of college. And then, I got that itch to step on stage my senior year of college. And I started prep in my final semester of college.
What position did you play in football?
I was a receiver, ironically. So when I started putting on some decent size, I was considered one of the bigger receivers on the outside, but it was cool, man. It was the first time I started like getting comfortable with my body just before you kind of get a little too big where you don't have full control of it.
Totally.
Yeah, but I was at that bridge stage, and I ended up having one of the best football years of my life. So it was amazing.
Can I ask why you left football for Men's Physique?
Yeah, I burned out, man. Football, I realized the business side of football very early throughout the recruiting process. I lost a Division I scholarship, which I was going to commit to in high school after I tore my ACL.
Damn.
Yeah, man. So, I fell in love with the school, visited the school, got an offer from the school, was going to commit, 2 weeks later on signing day, and end up losing my scholarship when I tore my ACL. So it set me back a little bit mentally, but we got a few other offers came in the door late, and I ended up signing, to a school called Pace University. It's in New York. I had a little bit of love for it. I think it was more of the camaraderie with the team and things like that. And I happened to be pretty good at it. So I started sticking with it. It was, helped me be a little bit more of a, extrovert. I was, able to, talk to people a little bit more, kind of use that football player, I guess, shield.
Yes.
But I started realizing, man, when I got towards the end of it, I just started to dread the little things, like going to practice and hours of, film and things like that. And I kept finding myself in the weight room. That was the one thing that started to be a lot more consistent, man. I guess it was like my therapy session before, I really realized I needed it. And then, my senior year, I had an offer to come back and they were going to pay for my fifth year. And I decided to forego that option and just take a chance on myself, man. I started a prep, and the rest, pretty much history from there.
How did you find out about Men's Physique?
So again, I've always, I'm not gonna say I followed it much because I didn't really know much about this sport. I guess it was around that Jeremy Buendia, I guess as soon as he kind of left kind of time period.
Yeah, kind of 2018-ish.
Yeah. So I honestly didn't know much about the division. My first love was classic. So like I my whole thought I was always going to be a classic competitor. I don't know. I think I love the art of posing more than anything. And so I was always leaning that way, but I also saw, how hard these motherfuckers worked when they came to Men's Physique. And, I had a pretty different outlook on it than most people when they see like the board shorts and stuff. I saw the art form that could be within it. And I don't know, man, I thought it just best fit what my body started to shape into at the same time. So, I fell in love with it. And once we started lifting and seeing the results that could happen, I was like, oh shit, I could make some noise here.
Whoa, bro. I love it. I didn't know any of that. So it's good to have that story. Can we give a quick shout out to your pops, bro? He has been following me and supporting the channel for a while, bro. He's the man, bro.
He is the GOAT, man. He's at every single one of my shows. He's the guy who's shaving my back. He's giving me Yo, he is, Brian. He's something special. And he was one of the first people I called when I was like, I don't, want to do this anymore. Like, I don't football wise. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And he's always supported me. I have a lot of family members thought I was a little crazy turning down, a full paid for MBA program. But I just wasn't happy anymore, and he was somebody who supported me, and he's always been number one supporter. And he's at every single damn show. He's the one taking pictures for, the business that I've started now. Like, this man is just a number one dad, man. I can't stress that enough.
Dude, just know I cannot wait to meet your father. One day I'm going to go to your show. I'm going to see this. He's a black man, right? Big black guy screaming for ALEX TOPLYN. He's huge? Is that what
he is 6'8".
What?
Yeah, he's 6'8". Yeah, man, like 280, feeling good. He again, you'll see him, big black guy with a camera, guaranteed.
That's hilarious, bro. ALEX, coming into the 2021 DC Pro, you made your pro debut, and as I've stated before, you never lost a show before that, including North Americans. What were your feelings going into that pro debut? Your confidence had to be at an all-time high. You looked great, man.
Yeah, man. I feel like I'm somebody whose physique comes alive on stage. Like when you can compare me next to somebody, I feel like my strengths kind of overweigh a lot of people's strengths and kind of emphasizes their weaknesses a little bit. I feel like somebody with great structure who's tall, that can happen. But I wasn't ready. And I can sit here and unbiasedly say that now. And, was I my best in terms of, the way the prep was leading up to? Was it my best come stage time? I don't think I was. Me and my coach could agree, we missed the mark on the show day for the first time in our career. So me dealing with that, adversity, first time ever facing adversity in the sport, or at least come to the stage wise.
Right.
It was rough, man. I feel like I let a lot of people down. People had high expectations for me, and I had even higher expectations for myself. And when I didn't feel like I've reached that expectation, it was rough, man. I was like, I didn't want to look at social media. I had a lot of clients that I had to deal with who were also competing in that same weekend. And, it was just hard for me to kind of conceptualize the whole thing.
Right.
But, again, looking back at it now after the dust has settled, I knew I wasn't ready, and I knew there was work to be done. And that's why I ended up cutting my prep a little early. So I could focus on some of the things that we need to work on.
Beautiful, bro. Because you've had quite a long off season, right? You've been on off season since the end of the DC Pro.
Yeah, there was about a month or so of some thinking and wondering which show we're going to do. We're going to do the Orlando Europa, jump into Tampa, something. But we ended up cutting, or stopping prep about 4 weeks after the DC Pro. And that's when we truly started thinking about the off season, giving my body a rest, giving my mental a rest, and getting back to the groundwork.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. What was some of the most important things that you learned after that show? I mean, I'm talking about you mentally, and then also the judges' feedback. I was really curious on what they had to say to you.
Yeah, mentally, man, I learned to control what you can control. That's the number one thing. I feel like there's too many people who put too much of an emphasis, and I was one of those people who put too much of an emphasis on what the judges say. We have to remember that this is a subjective sport. Having won 3 overalls in my first 3 shows, I didn't really, I could say that to myself, but I couldn't fully understand it and wrap my head around it until it happened. And I honestly didn't expect it to happen the way it did. But it was something that I needed. The judges put a big emphasis on specific areas that I needed to focus on. And the cool thing is, to a degree, it came down to one specific area, and that was the upper chest. It was very flat on stage. It didn't look the best that it looked the entire prep come show day. So that was also pretty, messed up my mind. Like, do I step on stage because I didn't peak right, or should I re-go for it? But even still, man, when I'm sitting back unbiasedly sitting here thinking, if I want to be the best in the world, which is my goal, and I'll say that like without hesitation.
I love when you say that, bro.
Yeah, like some people get a little, iffy when I say that, but I don't give a fuck. I got confidence in myself, man, and I want to be the best in the world. So if I want to be the best in the world, it made more sense for me to, listen to the judges' feedback, take a step back in order to take 2 steps forward.
When we see you on stage in 2022, we're going to see a lot of improvements, I imagine. How much lean tissue do you think you've put on since the DC Pro until we're going to see you on stage?
I would probably say about 6 to 7 pounds of lean muscle. And keep in mind, the cool thing about that is we've been doing it the right way. Yeah. So, you know, I let my body clean out. I've taken the health precautions needed, and this year my body is primed to do things that, you know, I can only imagine. You know, a lot of people don't understand the aspect of bodybuilding sometimes when it comes to the athlete's mental and never taking that foot off the gas when it comes to you know, the sport. And to be 100%, you know, transparent, I didn't take my foot off the gas from my first prep all the way up to after I went pro, all the way through my DC prep. You know, now being able to kind of, you know, take that step back, reevaluate, give my body a rest. I think that, you know, come the big push this year, it's going to be something truly special.
And bro, you figured this out. I mean, you and your circle have figured out how to be patient, like you said, doing it the right way so early on in your career that I think this is going to be very beneficial. Like they say, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yeah, and to be honest, man, so I jumped on Coach's Corner with Omar and Ben, and I got some of their feedback, and I always look at them as a little bit more mentors in the sport, just for the platform they try to provide and the value they try to give to people.
Yes.
And, you know, listening to them about doing it the right way, it was important to me. And, you know, I wanted to win now. And sometimes, you know, prioritizing the long game was a little bit more important. And that's what we did this offseason. So we prioritized the long game. Mm-hmm. You know, I've been able to find a passion and a love for the sport like I've never had before. I recently quit my full-time job. And
Yay, congrats, bro. Congrats.
Thank you. But I'm able now to do this full time. So like, there's a lot of different things that are aligning. And now it's just time to put the fucking work in.
It's game over. That's what you're trying to tell everyone.
Yeah, man, it's all gas, and just wait for it. It's gonna be a fun year.
Dude, you have a crazy shape. How tall are you, Alex?
I'm 6'2".
So you're 6'2", so you're one of the taller guys. You're as tall. You look Raymond Edmonds in the eye. You're taller than Aaron Banks, actually.
Yeah, and those are the two people who I want to stand next to on stage. 1,000%. Yeah, so I'm 6'2". At my peak off season, I was 265, feeling good, and I'm just excited, man. It's going to be a fun one.
I think you're going to have one of the best backs of all time. Seeing that at the DC Pro, bro, your freaking V-taper with that tiny waist is ridiculous. Do you get your genetics from your father or your mother, that shape, looking back at old photos?
Definitely my dad. Like me and my dad have the same injuries. We have like the same muscle insertions. We have the same dense back, same separated quads. The one thing that we both still lack is a chest. So like I know I get it from my dad, but you know he's also blessed me with a lot of things that allowed me to be where I am. So I can't blame him too much for the chest.
No, I love that, bro. I got to ask you, man, I know you're a fan of Men's Physique. I know you follow the sport. Did you agree with that top 5 at the 2021 Olympia this year? Did you watch that?
Yes, of course. So my hot take was Aaron Banks the whole time.
Ooh.
So I agree. I think he's my favorite physique in the division. I think that he has the best physique. I think he has the most untapped potential other than me. But I also think that Diogo showed up the best he's ever looked. I think that maybe Chiron could have been squeezed up a little bit higher. But overall, man, I do think it was a pretty solid top 5 for the way that they presented the package on that day.
And so your favorite physique right now, and I love how you say you have a favorite physique up there, because sometimes I ask guys and they're like, no, I only love my physique. So it's cool to hear that you do like Aaron Banks' physique, because he's, like you said, like we all know, he's a taller guy. And if I could ever see, hopefully in 2022, Alex, I'll see you're back up there against Aaron Banks, because I think it's going to be amazing. I think that you're going to be able to stand toe-to-toe to him. You're 6'2". You have a tiny waist. If I'm not mistaken, your waist is probably smaller than Aaron's, bro. And then that back is just so wide. I'm just stoked, bro. Are we going to run the gauntlet this year in 2022 if we have to?
Yeah. I don't want to say that's the plan, because the plan is to win a show and then focus on the Olympia. But right now we are preparing, if need be, to run the gauntlet. And I'm not afraid to say it. I want to start it off. I want to go against the bet. I'm past the point of it's a big debut. I want to just do good. Nah, I'm past that point, man. So I want to step on stage with the best right away. I want to go against Aaron. I want to go against Ryan, Terry. I want to go against all of them. I want to go against Physique. I want to go against Jeremy Potvin. So as of now, plans could change depending, but I'm looking to do New York.
Let's go, bro. That's going to be a hell of a show. Hell of a show. What do you think about the Arnold Classic this year, raising that pay money for the Classic Physique winner up to 60 grand, and then men's Physique? I'm hearing nothing. I'm hearing we're still going to get 7 grand. Why aren't we paid more? What's going on? What's your opinion?
That is a good question, man. I think that we are a division that's so undervalued because literally of just the board shorts aspect, I not only, I also, wished we had, and this is no knock on anybody, but I don't think that we have necessarily the best, I'm trying to say this the best way. We don't have necessarily the best role model.
Yeah. I've heard you say things like that before.
Yeah. So I just wish that we had a little bit more of a presence or a better role model. Like, I think Jeremy Potvin is an amazing role model. Like, more people, like him, who positively impact the sport, or at least our division, brings more eyes. Because if you go to any regional show, man, you'll see it's packed with men's physique athletes. It's always packed, no matter how small the show is. Still got a lot of men's physique athletes. So I know the eyes for the division are there, at least for the athletes aspect. I just don't think the respect is as for the classic and the open bodybuilding aspect so far. But I don't know, man. I think we all work just as hard. And, I know I can speak on my behalf. I train my legs just as hard, if not harder, than a lot of other, body parts, so I don't know, man, but I think it needs to change. And, hopefully I can be a part of that change.
When you become a Mr. Olympia from the men's physique division, Alex, why would you be a great role model for the division, a great spokesperson, the number one?
Man, I just think I'm unapologetically myself, and I don't shy away from the tough questions. I don't shy away from traveling and speaking and I think that's another thing. Like, we don't have the best people who can like speak educatedly on the sport enough. And I think that I could be somebody one day, right? To potentially, do just that. I love the sport, bro. I love what it takes, the day-to-day grind of what it takes to be great in this. And, I think that the way I shoot content, the way I try to help inspire, the way I try to add value to people in my, who follow me, I think that with more eyes, I can add more value and hopefully spread a more positive message about our division.
Beautiful, bro. In due time, Alex Toplyn, why does your physique overcome Banks?
I think that his biggest strengths are also my biggest strengths. And I think that when you have somebody like that, it's just who has, at the end of the day, who peaks and who's better on that day. And I think that, my width will beat his width. I think that, my density in time will beat his density. I think that my presentation can beat his presentation. And I just think that it's going to take a lot more work on my end to put myself in the same category and conversation as him. but I see that with the potential that I have, I think that it's very, very untapped. And I think that, after this year, a lot of more people will be putting me into that conversation.
Yeah, bro. I feel like you're a guy that, especially when it gets closer to a show, when you're posing in the mirror and you're checking out your physique and your confidence is just getting higher and higher, you truly see yourself one day as receiving that Sandow, that Mr. Olympia trophy. I can feel that with you, bro. Would you agree?
Absolutely, man. And I'm the least boastful person you'll ever meet. Trust me when I say I always think that I could be better in every area it takes. But I'm also, realistic. And that's with a lot of different aspects of my life. And I'm realistic with myself in this. I really do think that I can be the best in the world. I can see myself holding that trophy. I just think that it's going to require a lot more work on my end, and I'm willing to put that work in and some. And there's no question about it. So, I'm all gas towards the goals that I have, especially, with this new year, again, this new situation that I have.
No 9 to 5. You can focus all your energy on coaching and just contest prep, all that, huh?
Exactly, bro. So that's why, I really think that this year is going to be something different. I'm going to be able to put a focus that I've never had on the passion that's always been there. And now it's just going to, it's going to be something scary.
I got to get your take on something. You're a guy, again, that loves men's physique, that follows men's physique, and I appreciate you for that because you're right in the square middle of it. If Wayne Dia were to come back in 2022, do you think he would win 5 titles? What do you think? I want your opinion on it.
I've learned very early to not fall in love with the way people look on Instagram. I think that you judge somebody based off of their last stage appearance, period. So right now, I don't think that with his current package of what I'm seeing on social media, I don't think that he could beat an Aaron Banks. I still don't think that he can beat Brandon. And I think Chiron is someone people are consistently sleeping on. I think that he's also going to be a Mr. Olympia one day if he can overcome Aaron and Brandon. But I think that right now, if he were to come back this year, I think that he will be somebody who's in the top 6.
Okay. Give him top 6 at least.
Yeah,
I got you.
But I don't think that he would. I think him and Carlos would be somebody who'd be battling it out. And personally, I still do think Carlos right now would overcome. So
that's your boy. Carlos is your boy, bro.
Yeah, that's my man. He's a really good guy. But yeah, I think there's more people right now. Alpha, what I'm seeing has more potential.
Bro, did you get a haircut just for this interview? You can be honest with me.
Bro. So I get my haircut every single week.
What?
Every single week. But I was shooting content last week, and on my normal day of getting a haircut, I couldn't go. So I ended up just pushing it back till the following week. And then I got COVID. So I was screwed for 3 straight weeks. And I just got my haircut yesterday. After for 3 straight weeks, man, I feel like a new man. And I got an earring in. Ooh.
That's why you were delaying the interview, bro. You had to get that haircut. I understand, bro. There's a reason my hair's down. I can't show those sides right now.
I'm be real with you. I was eating a nice steak, so I apologize.
Oh my gosh, bro. The men's physique has been around for about 10 years now. How big, or I guess I should say, where do you see the sport in another 10 years? Because, you're going to be in the middle of competing. You're a young guy. How big is men's physique going to get in 10 years?
Oh, man. I think that it will always be one of the most active in terms of competitors division out there.
Why?
I just think that it's the most obtainable look for people. And I know, and some people look at bodybuilding as, no, I don't want the attainable look. I want to be bigger or be freakier, but that's not what everyone thinks. So I think that the more common day person, I think that if bodybuilding wants to tap in to mainstream media a little bit more, they should do so using the men's physique division, because we're the ones who are, most appealing and, to that look. So I think that if the IFBB and the whole sport of bodybuilding were to embrace the division a little bit more, I think they'd be bringing in more eyes. So using that optimism, I think that, we could potentially, be on par with the way Classic is right now in 5 years or so, 5-10 years. So, and I'm hoping to be in the midst of that.
Yeah, bro. I think me and you both have really good timing. I think we're anticipating something big and it's coming. Can I get the schedule? Can I get the official Alexander Toplyn schedule of 2022? You said you're starting prep in January. I heard a show maybe in April. What's going on?
Yeah. So right now, from my understanding, is the full schedule isn't out yet. I know most of it or some of it is, but they always drop a show, move show. So nothing is set in stone, but I want to stand against the best. So I'm not scared to do the big shows. So that is the plan. But at the end of the day, it's also partly strategic because I want to be at the Olympia stage if I have to go for points. So I want to do New York to kind of scratch that itch of being next to some of the biggest people. But I'm also going to do Tampa to my hometown. So I'm driving up the street for that.
Let's go.
The plan. I kind of want to travel to Toronto this year too.
Yeah.
And I think that's in August. But right now the plan is to start we're 18 weeks out from New York. So right now the plan is to start prep on the 10th. Okay. and prep for about, 16, 17 weeks for that show. But also if a show jumps on the schedule, calendar early, I'm not opposed to doing that either.
Let's go.
So the plan is, man, right now is, if I'm looking at the schedule, is to run the gauntlet if need be. And from my experiences of prepping for 2 shows once in my career, I've only gotten better per show. Right. And, more time with me in a prep and having my body deeper in a deficit, but holding is, has shown to be very dangerous. So that's something else that could be in the back pocket that we haven't used in a very long time.
I love it, bro. Last question I have from my man. It's Tuesday, January 4th, 12:38 p.m. where you're at. You coach a lot of people in a lot of divisions, but let's talk about men's physique. There's a lot of young guys. I swear, everyone in my gym wants to do a men's physique show, and they're all younger kids. I'm talking like 14 to, and beyond. What is your advice for all these young amateurs trying to come up to the ranks, trying to turn pro? What do you got to say to them?
I'll give the advice that someone gave to me, a mentor gave to me early on, was get comfortable getting uncomfortable. I cannot stress that enough, man. So when it comes to your posing, get comfortable getting uncomfortable. You're not going to be good right away. And you're not going to be comfortable right away, but get comfortable doing that, Get comfortable in the gym with the movements that you don't necessarily feel the best. Who knows, you could get them down, untap, unlock something in your body that muscle now is the best thing you ever. All I'm saying is you never know. And when it comes to knowing, you have to be a little bit of embrace the unknown, don't put limitations on yourself. I never thought I'd be in a situation where, I am right now, 2 years ago when I was making that decision in college. But unapologetically be yourself and bet on yourself.
I love it, bro. I love it, bro. Thank you for being on here with me today. I told you, just quick one, bro, 20, 30 minutes. Hopefully in the future, we do more of these because I'd love to keep talking to you and keep connecting with you and have people on my channel just find out more about who you are. You know what I mean? So again, bro, thank you.
The pleasure was all mine, man. I've seen the potential in you since that first ever connection that we've had. And I can't think of a better spokesman to help bring up the sport. So I appreciate you, man, what you're doing, the audience that you're attracting as well. And same thing with you, man. Keep your foot on the gas because you never know where you can be, at the end of the year, just like you didn't know where you could be at the end of, when you first ever started, what you're doing.
Facts, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you, Alex.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.